Welcome to the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast with your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger. Badass Direct Sales Mastery is a podcast for rock star direct sales moms who are determined to make their business kick ass. Jennie will share her knowledge of effective sales and recruiting techniques, tips to get what you want from your business, and will interview direct sales professionals and leaders from various companies. The interviews will give insight to how these rock stars got to where they are and where they plan to grow in the future. And now, the direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger.
Welcome back to another episode of Badass Direct Sales Mastery. I'm your host, Jennie Bellinger, your direct sales dom, helping you whip your business into shape. Today, I have with me Margaret Thomas. Now, Margaret Thomas has been a regional vice president with Arbonne for a while, but before that, she was an NICU, neonatal ICU nurse for 26 years. Now you can find her devouring personal growth content, creating dynamic social networks, and practicing health and wellness in the gym or on a trail, building her life vision, all from her home office. She loves leading her inspired team of consultants, doing life with people who inspire her, and empowering people to know they are loved, seen, worthy, and capable of great things. She's lived in Western Colorado for 25 years with her husband, Brad. So welcome to the show, Margaret.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here.
You and I, every time we talk, I fall a little bit more in love with you. I love that introduction, that helping people know that they are loved, seen, worthy, and capable of great things. Like the way I share out in the world when people go, well, how would you describe yourself? I'm like, light and love.
That's beautiful.
Right? Because it's the most succinct way to say exactly what you just said about yourself in that wonderful bio about wanting people to see how they are loved, seen, and worthy. Oh my gosh, that's a big thing. That's a big thing. So before we dive into your story of how you got into that, because now the bio makes me want to dig into that part. Where does that piece of wanting to help people feel loved, seen, and worthy and capable of great things, where has that come from for you? Where did that start?
For sure. I think it started because that was my journey. That's where I started, very small in my head as far as what I thought of myself, what I was capable of doing. I remember actually being at it was a Bible study that we were at, my husband and I, and we were going around the room saying what our gifts were, what are we good at? What's our area of influence? And literally, Jen, I said, you know what? I'm a helper, which, I am, but I'm a helper. If I show up someplace, give me a broom and I'll sweep. And everyone in the room just looked at me and went, oh, that's it. Cause that's it. And I thought, my goodness, that's pretty low on the self-esteem scale of hand me a broom. Not that I'm not willing to help, but you know what I mean? So I really started at a really small place of what I thought I was capable of, what I was called to do, of being influential, and being impactful. I'd kind of pigeonholed myself in a very small place. And because of my business, you can't serve other people if that's all you think of yourself, right? So that's the personal growth part of what we do. So through that journey, I learned that I was worthy, that I was impactful, that I was, built for more. And now having those shackles of those lies off of me, I'm super passionate about helping other people be free of their small mindset about who they are and what they're capable of. It's really the coolest thing I get to do.
I love that, because I had a feeling it had to have come from a personal place, right? Because that's when we become passionate about something, it's because it's come from our own experience, and that just makes it that much more powerful when we can share those kinds of stories of that own personal growth. So let's now go back to your journey into direct sales and network marketing. How did you get started in this industry? How do you go from being a neonatal ICU nurse saving the lives of babies, which is got to be like super cool. Also emotionally taxing, I'm sure. How do you go from that to network marketing and direct sales?
That's a really great question. I actually was introduced into Arbonne through a friend of mine who invited me to come to her house and hear about this home business that she was launching. And I felt sorry for her. I was like, oh, honey, things must be really bad. Really bad. And so I went to support her and be her friend. And, my idea is like, I'll buy a hand cream and, tell her good luck. And honestly, what I heard when I went to that presentation was hope, because she didn't know it when she invited me to that presentation that I was struggling in my heart and in our lives. My husband's a high school teacher. I was a nurse, and we were making ends meet. But that was about it. There was no extra. And, every time we would, feel like, ooh, we have extra, we can go do something cool with the family. Then we would need 4 new tires or a hot water heater, or gosh, now the kids need braces. We never got to that place where we felt like we were living in our, kind of the life that we dreamed about. And so I had this unsettledness of like, this is it. We did all the right things. This is it. This is what I get, is just to have, my basic needs met without being able to dream more than that. And I felt honestly like God had planted dreams in my heart that were so much bigger than our 9-to-5 jobs were ever going to provide for. So I kind of had this unrest. I really, in a million years, didn't think it would be network marketing. Would be the answer, right?
Right.
That would be crazy. But what I heard at that presentation, like I said, was hope. And it just struck me in the chest and gave me goosebumps. And I literally had a physical response, and it freaked me out because I'm like, whoa, 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 what is that? What just informed me that this was a good thing? Because it would not be my own idea for sure. So that's why that's how I got interested in doing this business. And for a while, it took me a little bit to kind of jump in fully, but I literally, prayed about it, talked to my husband about it. And Brad was like, babe, what if this is the thing? What if this is the thing that changes everything for us? What do you have to lose? And I think him saying that gave me the freedom and the courage to just keep doing the next right thing and moving forward.
I love that. Because, when you have that physical reaction to anything, right? That's, some people call it Holy Ghost, the Spirit, the universe. I don't care what y'all call it, what your beliefs may be. That physical reaction is a sign.
For sure. I sometimes I call that my tug, something that just pulls me. And I'm like I said, totally other than me. It's that tug that wants you to lean in.
Yeah, no. And what that also brought up for me is that I'm sure you've probably heard that story about the man in the house who, there's flooding, and they're like, hey, you need to leave. And the man says, no, God will take care of me. Have you heard that story?
Yeah.
Okay. So in this case, you listened, you paid attention to all the different things that the universe was sending to your way to say, hey, you said you wanted something to help you. Here, this is something that could do that. So when you started your journey, then you said it took you a little while to jump in and really, really go all in, which is not shocking because many people kind of dip their toes and kind of go, okay, the water's not so bad. It's not the end of the world. I didn't die. Oh my gosh. But as they keep going, what really helped you turn that from being kind of in, somewhat in, to going, bam, I'm all in?
I think I fell in love with the process. I think I was falling in love with the person that I was becoming, and really accepting my vision and dream for what this could be. And in the beginning, we had this monthly meeting that, we were supposed to go to. And I'm like, I don't want to go to some woo-woo meeting. That's not who I am. I want to do things my way. And now I would never miss a meeting. I want to be there. Like I love being there. And so the difference is like, when someone presents you with like, you should do these things versus you can't keep me away. Like that. And I think that's just attaching to loving the process, which I do.
Nice. And it's really interesting to me because one of the things that I've learned in my 5 years of coaching now that I've been doing this is what I see as a commonality among all of those who are successful and a commonality for those who are really struggling has to do with process.
Absolutely.
The people who are solid, successful, what we would tick off as, they're hitting all the things that we would say are a measurement of success in direct sales. They've got sales, they've got a team that's working, they're earning the incentives, the trip, the car, the whatever it may be, right? Those are the external things that help us gauge a level of success. But then I think some of the interesting things that we miss out on are seeing that personal growth that you discussed. But what all those people who have in common is they're following, if not the process, they're following a process, right? So was that something that you, how do I want to ask this? Was this something that you ended up jumping in with the process that Arbonne provided for you? Or was this something where you went, okay, that's a good starter, and how did you begin to get into doing that process and really turning it into something that worked for you?
Right. That's a great question too. So that was 17 years ago. So like, it's like dark ages, right? We didn't have social media. We didn't have, I didn't even have a cell phone for like the first 3 years of my business. Oh. And after that, like someone had to make me learn how to text, so I'm a little slow to the game with technology, but so in the beginning, like the process was just talking to people and not that that's not a good process, but it was very vague. Like what people, what do I say? Like, do you know what I mean? Like it wasn't real defined. And I think through, again, personal growth and some great books that I've read about kind of having disciplines and habits, I've been able to come up with, 4 or 5 things I do every single day. That's part of the process. And of course that includes reaching out to people new and follow up, etc. But every time I do, I'm blessed because at least I'm connecting with people and I'm hearing from people how they're doing and how they may need what I have to help them. And whether they do or not, it's just great to connect with people. And that's the process. That's the part of the process that I love the most, is just connecting with people, letting them know they're seen, loved, and heard, right? And that makes me feel great. So Arbonne's really just given me a platform and a reason to intentionally reach out to people just to be a touch.
That's powerful right there, guys. So I imagine now in this 17 years that you've been doing this, then that from then till now, you're probably a lot less salesy now than you were when you started. Would you agree with that? How did your sales conversations look 17 years ago compared to now?
It's so funny you asked that because I was thinking about that the other day and kind of thinking about some of the initial conversations I had, and they were cringeworthy, for real. But for me, like going from saying nothing to saying something at least was progress. So I had to kind of dial it back in, so to speak, to be able to be able to meet people where they are. But absolutely. So absolutely totally different from when I started. So really getting into people's lives, hearing what their needs are, and then offering help if I have help. And so it's not based on a sale. It's based on how can I help and serve you?
There you go. A sales conversation. The best sales conversations are the ones where you are helping the other person. Yeah. It's really about, a sale is a problem solved.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're paid problem solvers, right? Like, so, but you don't know what people's problems are if you're not in their life. So you have to intentionally network and build relationships and just love people. And if something comes up and Arbonne can help with that, I will offer that. If something comes up and something else helps with that, I will offer that as well. I'm just in the problem solving business.
Yes. Okay. And you brought up something that is near and dear to my heart when it comes to talking about the world of direct sales, but especially when we're referring to it as network marketing, right? Mm-hmm. Because direct sales, network marketing, MLM, I don't care what business model you have, in the end, the only way that you are really going to get to be successful is if you are doing networking, building and growing a network of humans who know, like, and trust you, and you know, like, and trust them, and marketing. It's not called network sales. It's called network marketing. So 50% of your job is networking, 50% of your job is marketing. So you and I met because, and my listener right now knows what's about to pop out of my mouth, we met through BNI. So tell us how BNI came into your business journey and how that has really helped to serve your personal growth, because that's part of who you are, and your business growth.
Oh, okay, cool. I love this. I just got all excited. So about 10 years ago, a client of mine introduced me to the concept of BNI, of we're a group of network professionals. You should come share what, see if it's a fit for you. And I did. And at that point in my business, I was at a lower rank than I am now, and was still working as a nurse, and really didn't have a concept of what being a professional was so much, right? Because in my professional life as a nurse, I put on wrinkled scrubs and put my hair up in a messy bun, and I wore Crocs, right? And I, right? So you know what I mean? It's a different line of work, right? Mm-hmm. And so for me, I think one of the biggest things that really added value to me through BNI was it put me in a room with business professionals who were at the top of their game. Like, they were invested, they were all in, they had a business plan, they had goals and visions for the people that they were going to serve. And honestly, being in the room with those people elevated my sense of professionalism in myself. And it gave me an opportunity to have my business lady hat on, right? Mm-hmm. And was really, really beneficial. So I joined, and later that year, I actually promoted to, probably later that year, I promoted to the level where I'm at now in Arbonne. And it was through the connections and the networking. But honestly, it was like, for me, because remember, like, my struggle was feeling worthy, right? And being adequate and having something to share. For me, it put me at a table with other people who elevated my sense of what I was capable of. Because they didn't know, I came in as the Arbonne, professional. They didn't know what level I was, nor did they care. They don't know what the ranking system is. So there was none of that judgment that I felt or was given to me. They just saw me as this cool Arbonne girl, and, started helping me share Arbonne with the community. So it was really, really cool. It's been a huge blessing. I've been a member for 10 years.
Yeah. So you and I joined, interestingly enough, probably around the same time, because at the time of us recording this, I'm within a week of my 11th anniversary of having joined BNI back in the day. So I just got the Facebook memory pop up in my memory saying, hey, 11 years ago, you went to your, hey guys, I just went to this cool new thing. Cool new thing. That's how much I didn't know about BNI the first time I went. It's this cool new thing. It's a bunch of people, bunch of professionals. Hey, who else knows something about BNI? Crickets. Like, no one in my network knew anything about BNI. Now, anyone who knows me, I don't know what this BNI thing is, but I know Jenny's passionate about it. So, and I would say that my experience was very similar to yours in that coming in, I was literally still at first level. with my company when I started. And through showing up in that room with realtors, financial planners, mortgage professionals, insurance, like people who owned like agencies and, just all kinds of professionals. We had a really wide variety in the group that I started with. That sense of, okay, now I'm a business. Before that I was just the sales lady, and then now all of a sudden I was a business. Like they shifted that thinking, and I can't imagine my life without BNI. I really can't ever, 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 ever. So this has been helpful for you through that mindset, through the referrals and connections that have helped you grow your business. So now you've achieved, is RVP top at Arbonne? For those who are listening right now, is that really the pinnacle of where you can go promotion wise on the ladder?
Sure. It's the top 2% of the company. And there is an additional level, which is called National Vice President, which is the top 1%, which of course is my goal by the end of the year.
Oh, there we go. We got goals. So now those of you who are listening, let's cheer on Margaret to make this happen, because we love seeing success and we want to hear when that happens. I want to have you back, celebrate, bring you on the show, tell everybody how awesome that was. For sure. We want to get you there. So knowing that, what are some of the other cool achievements that you've had happen? Because in 17 years, there must have been some pretty cool things that you've either earned or had happen to you because of your business and network marketing.
Sure. So as my previous career in nursing, which is a beautiful career, God bless the nurses, there was no any type of recognition really. Right. So coming to Arbonne, where you earn, gifts and flowers and a car and trips, like having those things feels good. And I think we talked about this, Jen, when we were chatting before, the Enneagram. So I'm a 3. If there's any Enneagram listeners out there, I'm a 3, which is achievement oriented. So if there's a carrot, I'm always going for it. And it always feels good to achieve it, quite honestly. But I do look at the trips we've earned. And, sometimes I'll even walk out into the garage and be like, I got that car. Can you believe I got that car? I'm sometimes still dumbfounded. But I think for me, really what I've achieved is that change in mindset. And it's the ability that I had every day to stay and plug into the process and to just keep going one more day. So for me, that's like a daily achievement that really, I think that really makes me proud, because some days it's hard to walk away. Some days it's really easy to not work your business. But showing up every day, I think, has been a huge achievement for me as well. And I would say, too, that we have 2 amazing grown-up adult kids who are on career paths that are taking them places that their heart has taken them, and defying odds, and honestly pursuing things that are difficult. And I think that their mama doing something that was difficult and out of the box and scary and emotional, right? And having them see that and being a part of that, of our family culture. My husband's even written books, and, he does amazing things. And I think that for that to happen in our family, I would have had to have stepped into something out of the box, scary, where I could support them in their personal journeys too, because my natural inclination is to play it safe, play it safe, take the easy road, don't be too risky. And your dreams aren't found on the easy road. Your dreams and your dream life exist outside of that. And I'm just really proud of my family for them pursuing those things. And I don't know if that's an achievement with Arbonne or not, but I think it wouldn't have happened.
It's an accomplishment. Yeah.
If I wasn't in that headspace.
No, I think that I would 100% rank that up with an achievement and accomplishment, because that right there is something that has been, because my kids are not yet grown up, right? And so my why, my purpose in is exactly what you've already created with your kids, is to be that role model so that your kids don't limit themselves. Be that role model so that they see what is possible, and they get to watch the growth and the work that went into it and the fun that they got to have. The you work hard, play hard, you don't have to work hard 100% of the time. But when you throw that in, that the play hard becomes way more fun too. So yeah, I think that's a huge achievement, because I think that's what every mom wants for their kid, right? Is
Absolutely.
to be that role model, and to help their kids achieve what they want and become who they're meant to be through that. So that, I think that's absolutely beautiful. I love that. Oh God, I couldn't have come up with a better answer. I love it. So now, Margaret, with all of this going on, so you've already shared that your goal is to hit national sales vice president by the end of 2022. What else is on the horizon for you coming up?
Wow. That's a tough question. So that's kind of all encompassing. I'm also have been really stepping into some leadership positions, for not leadership positions, but so would you ask me that again?
Sure. So, Margaret, you have shared with us that going into the end of 2022, you want to hit national sales vice president. What else is on the horizon for you?
So looking forward, even included in that goal, but not just contained in that goal, is just the ability to help other people have what I have: the freedom, the time freedom, the security, the relationships, the culture, the sense of purpose. I would really like to just keep duplicating that. One of the things that's really on my vision board is, and I speak it out every day, is I really want my team to be these sold out, dynamic, loving people who, when they get their Arbonne paycheck, like, it just makes them cry. Like, they are so thankful. It has answered so many problems in their lives. It's been a blessing for them. So that's huge for what's on the horizon for us. And then having that duplicating, obviously, down into the team as well. I've been able to, this past year, kind of step into a little bit more work on myself, which is really exciting. And then also being able to give back through our church, through our women's ministry. I've actually kind of spearheaded with a couple other amazing women in the marketplace. And so, like, how we can be adding value to people, loving people through our work, whether it's, someone's an entrepreneur, solopreneur, or even just at work. Like, how do we be that same person of integrity everywhere that we go, and not, put things in little cubby holes and act differently in different places, but really be integrous 100%. So that's been really, really a cool thing I've been leaning into as well during this time.
Oh, I love that. So that's always good to know, because now those who are listening can go, I wonder how I could do that. Or, I think that's going to spark some things in people. So you're making ripples with people without even knowing who they are yet, because they're in the audience for this podcast right now, listening right now. Speaking of those who are listening right now, you have a fun little giveaway for people. Tell us more about the Pamper Me Pack.
Yes. So you can connect with me through Instagram. And if you send me a message, I would be glad to send you a Pamper Me Pack. And basically in that pack is going to be a sheet mask. It's the coolest thing you've ever put on your face. It's amazing. It's going to make your skin feel so cool and soft and just glowy. And then a detox tea that you can sip while you're wearing your mask. And then I have a skin elixir, which helps your body create collagen from within. And lastly, one of our energy fizz sticks, which just gives you a boost of energy and helps you take the best you to the world, quite honestly. So if you message me, I will send you a little Pamper Me Pack. And I would just love to connect and see, again, is there anything that I have or do that can be helpful to you in your life?
I love that. So for those of you who are listening right now, my regular listeners, my badass crew, you guys know how to get to the show notes. But if this is your first time listening to the Badass Direct Sales Mastery podcast, all you have to do to grab Margaret's Instagram is grab your phone, click on the episode, as long as you're not driving, and make sure that you just scroll up a little bit. You'll see the show notes in there, and you will see the direct link to Margaret's Instagram that will take you right to her so you can follow her and then send her that message. Make sure you let her know you heard her here on the Badass Direct Sales Mastery podcast and that you would love the Pamper Me pack so you guys can figure out how she can get that to you. So please make sure you do that, because hello, why wouldn't you want to do that? We could all use a little self-care, all use a little pampering. And this is her way of helping show you how you are worthy for even just those few minutes of taking care of yourself for that one time. So, Margaret, thank you for being here. This has been a really fabulous, I love this interview so much.
I've loved getting to know you. I think you're amazing.
I'll pay you later, okay?
You're very inspiring, Jen, really.
Oh, thank you so much, Margaret. And seriously, I'm going to be following your progress towards National Sales Vice President, because now that you've spoken that out into the world, we are going to make sure that we can do everything we can to help you get there. So thank you so very much, because helping you get there means that exponentially increases the number of lives that you've impacted in a positive way. And that's all that is. And when I try and explain that to people, they don't always get it, but I know you get it, right? The promotion is never about the person who got there, but always about the impact that they've made in the process of getting there. So we are cheering you on, Margaret. So thanks again for being here.
Thank you. You have a great day.
Absolutely. You too. And Badass Crew, you guys know how this goes. Stay tuned, because there is another badass episode on its way.
Thanks for listening to the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast with your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger. Why are you waiting to go to badassdirectsalesmastery.com? Don't make the dom get her whip. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to share it with another rock star that you know in direct sales after you subscribe to the podcast so you won't miss any future episodes. You can also check out the show notes for links and any contact information mentioned in today's episode. We'll see you next time.